Here are my favorite habits for a productive year. I like to use a book calendar that gives me the month as a whole and also day by day areas where I can write down my goals that I have for each day and also keep track of everything that I need to write down in my daily life. Then for my videos, I like to print out a blank calendar from the Google Calendar and fill in my video ideas with pencils so I can easily move those around. By keeping the two calendars separate, my life calendar and my work calendar, it makes it very easy for me to be able to move things around for work and also have everything set in stone for my daily life and the things I want to get done in my day-to-day routine. I also love a reusable wall calendar where I can just erase it every month and write down the really obvious stuff that I need to remember and not overlook. This brings me to my next tip. I have someone joining me here now. And that is sometimes I have to let the thought of perfection fly out the window. I find it's better to actually get things done than it is to get things done perfectly. So that's where I'm at in my life. And also, if I want to get certain things done, I have to let other things go. So if I were to pan my camera around, you would see a whole bunch of Christmas bins. I'm currently putting my Christmas decorations away, and I've had to set that on the back burner for now so I could film this video and get these tips out before the new year is actually here. But that just shows me that it's easier to get things done when I'm more flexible and willing to let some of my perfectionism go so I can actually be productive, because it's really easy to get hung up on trying to get everything done perfectly rather than just to get it done. I also try to avoid being busy and instead try to be more productive. What I mean by this is it would be easy for all of us to be busy all the time. We could come up with a task for every moment of the day, but then we would just be wasting our time and not getting a lot done. So I try to really evaluate what I'm working on, and in most instances, I find it's better to focus on the macro things, so the larger things that need to get done, and then leave the smaller micro things for when I have more time. So instead of organizing my sock drawer by color, which really doesn't matter, I try to focus on getting all the laundry done. That's just one example. I always find I'm more productive when I cut out all the unnecessary things that tend to take up my time, but I don't really need to be doing. One of those things recently has been Instagram. About 3 months ago, I deleted the Instagram app off of my phone, and I was perfectly happy not using it. I got so much time back, and then I thought, hey, I'm gonna put it back on my phone and see if I missed it. I had it for maybe 3 weeks or so, and I decided to delete it again because it just wasted so much of my time and also put me into a negative headspace. So by cutting out the unnecessary things, it really gives you a lot of time. By organizing and cleaning my workspace, it helps me to focus on the task that I'm trying to accomplish. And this could be as simple as clearing off your desk and only putting on to your desk the one item you want to get done or you want to finish. So I had a pile of probably 4 letters that I needed to go through and respond to and deal with. And by setting those right in the middle of my desk and clearing everything else off, I was able to focus on that, get it done in about 10 minutes, and then move on to everything else. So just by cleaning and clearing off my desk, that allowed me to finally move on to those things I needed to get done. As you are seeing in this video, when I'm talking about my goals, I'm showing a lot of the projects we did through the last year. And this is another thing I love to do, is just reflect on the previous year and see what we accomplished and how much we were able to get done. And that actually helps me to set my goals and all my aspirations that I want to get done in the new year by seeing how much I could get done the year before. So my goals are going to be very realistic. And that's another way to be more productive productive is to know exactly how much you can actually accomplish, which brings me to another thing, which is making SMART goals. And that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific goals have a desired outcome that is clearly understood. Define what will be accomplished and the actions to be taken to accomplish the goal. Measurable. These are the numbers used with the goal so that you can track progress. This would be if you were trying to lose weight, you would take the weight at the beginning and then how much you lost. A great way when you're decluttering is to count how many items you've decluttered each month. As you can see here, I'm trying to finish painting this wall in one afternoon. So that was my goal here, was to get the wall completed by the end of the day. Achievable. Goals need to be realistic in order to maintain the enthusiasm to try to achieve them. Setting a really lofty goal is great, but you might want to break it down into smaller chunks so it's actually doable. Relevant. Goals should be aligned with what you're trying to accomplish. There's no reason to set goals just for something to do. And one way you can determine this is just to see how it's going to benefit you in your life and by the end of the year and what you want to achieve. Time bound. Goals should have a deadline. A goal without a deadline doesn't do much. And how can you know if you're being successful or failing if you don't have a deadline of when your goal should be achieved? As you can see here, our goal was to get the garden going and take away some of this grass. We really wanted this to happen before the end of summer, which we were able to do. But it is great to set a deadline. I like to do deadlines, especially for when I'm decluttering and cleaning. So I will just set a timer and say I'm going to work for 30 minutes. And when that 30 minutes is up, I am done and just see how much I can get done in that time. While I love to use SMART goals for my business, especially, and things like losing weight, things that I can really track, I also like to use more of an artistic way of setting goals and trying to be productive through using a vision board, word of the year, and that sort of thing. So my word of the year, I've decided, is going to be the word growth. And I think that can apply to so many different aspects of my life. I think that's a fun overarching theme to pick for this coming year. And I think that that will help me to stay productive with that in the back of my mind. I am not going to set a whole bunch of New Year's resolutions this year because I just don't feel they normally stick around for long. But I think it's fun to have a vision board where I just save photos on Pinterest of things that will inspire me to stick with all of my goals that I have for this year. Hustle culture and being busy all the time is the quickest way to lead to burnout. So I have found it is so important to have some downtime, and I like to make sure that I am not trying to be productive every moment of every day. It just doesn't work in the long run. So what I do is try to get the things done within the hours that I've set to get those things done. So whether that's a work thing or that is doing a chore in my home, I make sure that I am definitely scheduling in some downtime to relax and recharge, because life is not about being productive all the time, but that's what this video is about. So I'm going to drop a whole bunch of productivity tips on you right now. So I like to make sure that my phone is silent when I'm trying to get something done. If you are a night owl, then make sure you're working during those hours. If you're a morning person, make sure you're working in the morning. I think just going with what your body naturally wants to do is the best. I like to write down my ideas for the day. So when I wake up, I do a huge brain dump, which is just opening to a piece of paper, writing down everything I'm thinking about. And I will also do this in my notes app right before bed, especially if I have something rolling around in my head that I'm trying to get out. And this just helps for productivity, and also so I don't forget all of those great ideas that I have. It has been proven that having less clutter around you and more space makes it easier to get tasks done. So I personally try to declutter whenever possible. You'll know if you watch this channel, you'll see all kinds of decluttering videos. I also try to work in the silent hours. For me, that is when my children are sleeping at night. That's just how it works for me in this moment in my life. So I try to take advantage of those quiet hours. And then I also try to have rewards throughout the day, or when I finish a project, I like to just take a moment and say, well done, take a break, and enjoy the progress that I'm making in my life and in my day-to-day activities, and really try to be grateful for everything that I am accomplishing and that I'm getting done in my life. See you in the next video. Bye.